Hey, it's Jave and Andy here from Two Dudes Reviews,
what's up?
and today we're hanging out at my personal favorite winery. If you're ever in the Napa Valley area, you got to come and check out Merryvale Vineyards on Two Dudes Reviews. It's Jave and Andy from Two Dudes Reviews. This could be the alternate intro, I guess.
The alternate intro.
We're here at Merryvale Vineyards in Napa Valley, right across from Gott's Roadside. Used to be Taylor Creek, right?
No,
here.
we don't need to see that picture.
Hashtag
You can't
Gott's.
see it. Anyway.
And here, come with us. We're going to go to check out Merryvale. A beautiful fountain right here in the front. And if you're looking for red wine, arguably the best red wine in all of Napa Valley right here at Merryvale. Lovely fountain. And of course, we are Two Dudes Reviews. So we're hanging out here with Laurence. Laurence and her family own Merryvale Vineyards. And Simone, the man, the myth, the legend, the guy who makes all the juice happen, right?
Don't tell me that.
And we were just talking about that because he's a kid. He's young. Look at how young this guy is.
I'm
How
actually
old
45.
are you, man?
I'm 45.
Are you? Stop it.
way.
Really?
No,
Oh.
31.
The red
Okay.
wine.
Yeah, see?
Say,
You
man.
guys are funny.
Wow.
Wow.
So did I just lose a gullibility point?
Yeah.
I think so. All right. Well,
Red wine is better than Botox.
Oh, there you
better
go.
than I like that. Hey, we got to put that somewhere. Red wine is
man.
better than Botox.
Better than Botox.
Brian, put that on the list.
Yeah.
So what we're sipping here first, and this is the first wine that I was introduced to Merryvale with, and it was so good. I said, you know what? If we ever get a chance to go to Napa, we are going to come hang out at Merryvale. This is a silhouette, and the silhouette is a white blend, correct?
It's 100% Chardonnay.
100%
100%
Chardonnay.
Chardonnay.
Okay.
But it's
Okay.
coming from two different vineyards.
Two different vineyards. I'm sorry, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I meant.
Okay. Tell us about this one.
Yeah.
Well, it's I think it's our best effort with Chardonnay. It's coming from two different blocks. The first one is block 2A from Stanley Ranch, from our vineyard. We own 55 acres in Stanley Ranch, and that's our best block.
Okay.
Carneros.
In
Carneros. Okay.
South of Napa, right by the San Pablo Bay. So you have a lot of minerality into this wine thanks to the position of that block. Being so close to the bay, you have a lot of winds coming that brings some salt, some minerality into the wines, and the soil there is very loamy, very deep, and I think we get some of that cool climate and deep soil that helps to get that minerality. The other block, which is about, which represents 20% of the blend, is Hyde Vineyard. It's very kind of old, famous producer of grapes and Pinot Noir and Chardonnay especially, in Carneros, a little closer to the foothill. It's in a little valley, a little cooler area. The wines seem to be cooler, though we pick it earlier. They ripen at lower alcohol than Stanley Ranch, lower acidity, but it's a very kind of long wine, very aromatic. Fun fact about that block is that we have the block is planted with two different clones, kind of mixed together. We don't really know where they are, though you can see the plant. They look different. One is the Muscat clone, which is very aromatic, brings a lot of spice.
What did you call it? What clone?
Muscat clone, like muscat grape.
Okay.
Has some of that muscat character into
Okay.
the wine, so
Yeah.
kind of
Very
more exotic.
aromatic and control.
And the other block, plant or clone of Chardonnay that we have on that block, it's called Wente clone. So it's a typical, very California clone, clone that does really well under the weather that we have here. In Stanley Ranch, the material we have, so the clones are Dijon clones, which is more kind of classic Chardonnay.
I was going to say they use that in mustard, don't they?
Mustard, yeah.
Dijon clones for mustard. So it seems to be a popular trend as of late for stainless steel aged Chardonnays. And the thing that I fell in love with this is the oaky, buttery depth that I got. But sometimes, when I talk to people who like that big butter, with the people bring up Rombauer.
What was that?
Cougar juice.
Cougar juice. I like it.
people
Yeah.
bring up
We don't
Rombauer,
produce those.
which
No.
for me is all oak and all butter.
Yeah,
And
it's all
the
oak and butter.
uniqueness of this is it does have some of the minerality to it and some of the fruit forwardness of it, without being all oak and all butter. It's got some
This is
depth of
beautiful.
character to it. You know.
Absolutely beautiful. So you talked about that minerality, and that definitely comes through in this wine. And I'm not historically a big Chardonnay fan. I think, and a lot of the reason is because of that big oak,
Yeah.
buttery that everyone is doing, right?
Yes.
And so I will typically go that Sauv Blanc. You know,
Yes.
you shared with us earlier. Was,
Freshness,
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Gorgeous, especially on a hot summer day.
Very
We stepped out of the
refreshing.
car. You know, we drove here. We stepped out of the car, and I'm like,
Whoa, it's
Africa
hot.
hot. It was hot. It's hot down here right now.
It's hot in Reno, but it's a different kind of heat.
It's
Yeah.
it's a dry heat.
It's a dry
It's a
heat.
dry heat.
Humidity. I did too.
Yeah. Oh, the humidity is
So, ladies, I'm
Yeah.
I'm
Talk
curious
to
to
us
know
about
what
your
you
thoughts.
think about the silhouette here.
So, I personally, I taste hints of the oak. It's not outstanding where I'm like, oh my god, all I taste is oak and butter. I get a real clean finish.
When you say outstanding, you mean overpowering.
Where it's just, that's all I taste.
Right.
Is butter and oak.
How about
Right.
you, Jill?
I get a little ash flavor.
Ash. Interesting.
Yeah,
From the
absolutely.
barrel.
It's very crisp. I like that it's the perfect temperature.
Yep. Nice and crisp.
Yeah, beautiful.
Allison, you're going to pair this with cheese. What kind of cheese are you going to use?
Yes, I would use.
Got some cheese.
I like white cheddar.
Ah,
quite honestly.
okay. Andy, I see you zoning in on the cheese plate there.
I actually was putting my glass down. I'm trying to
Okay.
put it back in its
In
proper
its
spot.
rightful spot.
Because
Okay,
I've finished
I
it.
don't care.
Yeah, so
Well,
There
we can
go.
fix
Would you
that.
like a-
don't threaten me with a good time. But cheese, so what do we have here on the plate?
I think we have aged Gouda on the left.
Oh, thank
Okay.
That was going to be my next thing.
I should ask our tasting manager because they change it.
Don't tell
There's
anybody.
a
I'm just going to try
Manchego,
these.
I think. That one looks like a Manchego.
I love
your
a
perfect
wonderful
pairing.
Manchego is
That's my
one of
favorite,
favorites.
Manchegos,
It's so
yes.
mild
It's lovely.
and it pairs with just about
Anything, yeah.
That's beautiful. Yeah, kind of a little bit of sweetness to
You
that
wouldn't
cheese.
want a
Little tart.
creamy cheese with this.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
the Manchego I like with
Nice
like
dry
dried cherries or dried cranberries.
That would be perfect.
That's wonderful.
Glad you like it.
Absolutely. The wine is fantastic.
And it's a wine that can age too. So you know, we drink our whites. I think in this country in general a little too young, and that's a wine that we've had over the time. You know, the years. Like remember opening last year, 2002, with Renee, with Lawrence's husband, and that was phenomenal.
Really?
So,
It's really well.
it ages well, and the pity is that we have these wine, we enjoy them a little too early when they're on the fruit, when the oak is very powering, but though the oak kind of tames over 1 year or two, and you get back to the wine 2 years later, and it's just like floral explosion.
So how long is too long?
So for Chardonnay, you know, there's also the risk that it would age too fast. So the risk for Chardonnays, for whites in general, is a little bigger than for reds. So, you know, kind of like don't miss a thing. I usually do 4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years.
So
Wow,
that
okay.
you're safe enough. The wine has some of that aged character, but it's not too. It's still some of the fruit. It's not over the cliff yet. So.
You know, this is very, very bad news for my wife because she loves great wine, and so I've come into the cellar on occasion. I say cellar. We have a little 50-bottle wine thing, and so I have tags on some of the wines that just say no, because she'll just come in and she'll be like, it's a cab. I'm going to drink it.
She does that for
wait.
me when I come over.
Yeah.
Jill knows the top shelf of mine. Don't touch
Oh,
it.
yeah,
Don't touch
and
it.
it's usually
And
our Merryvale.
It's
Yeah.
guess what's on top of my shelf?
Okay,
It's
I got 2
Merryvale right now.
profiles in it.
You know, so that isn't that the hard part.
So then we
It's
go
easy
to
when you're
box
making
wine.
the wine.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's easy when you're making the wine to save it for however many years you're going to save it. At my house, no, it just doesn't last.
That's why it's bad
We're
news.
gonna
I'm gonna replace the label on the silhouette. I'm gonna date it back another year. We can hang on to it a little bit longer.
Yeah,
yeah.
fantastic.
You know what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to get a second bottle, but we get the second bottle. The first one's been in there about 6 or 7 months. We'll get the second bottle, make sure we date them, and that way when we drink them, we can do a side by side and see.
Oh, that's a
Fantastic.
good
What a
idea.
great idea.
Let's
Wonderful.
see if they behave.
Yeah, well, Behave?
I am a
What is
rule
that?
breaker.
Behaving,
I
yeah.
am.
Good luck with that. So this is so Silhouette this is just the name of this Chardonnay
Yes.
because it's a blend of two different vineyards. Is that correct? Or
It's just,
I mean,
we call it Silhouette because it's the little sister to our red blend profile. So
Okay.
it falls in that category of high-end wines.
okay.
So this is our best Chardonnay, and the profile is our best blend.
Oh, fantastic.
So they do have the same label, and they almost come as a couple.
So
Fantastic.
Andy and I were discussing coming up, and Brian, this is one you're going to want to have in the video. Andy had a question in regard to Starmont and
Yep.
Merryvale, and I tried to answer it just based on knowledge of having come here for the last 15 years. But Andy, what exactly was the question?
It's, obviously Starmont is a more affordable line of wine
Yep.
for you,
Yes.
right, versus the Merryvale.
Yep.
Help me understand that. Why not just make all of your wine great? Why just not sell all the best? Yeah, right. No, I mean, I have a coffee company and I roast coffee, right?
Yep.
And I know I buy specialty grade coffee
Yep.
beans. I buy the best beans, and I only roast the best beans from whatever origin I'm using. Help me understand Starmont versus Merryvale.
The logical answer would say that Starmont is the sister winery to Merryvale, and also the reason why we have Starmont down in Carneros is because Chardonnay is what Starmont does best. Chardonnay and Pinot Noir and all those varietals that grow happily down in Carneros compared to Merryvale, where we produce more of the big reds and the cabs that are happy in Up Valley, where
It's almost an
warmer.
ode to Bob Ross, put a happy
Kinda
little,
happy
happy
little-
little tree here.
Wine here.
Specialty.
Right, okay, so
Yeah.
fair enough.
And
That
the
makes sense to me.
cabs love the heat, and Chardonnay, Pinots, they love the cooler climates. So we made their home in Carneros and built the winery, and we had the vineyards there. So it just all made sense.
And-
But I have to say that both wineries, we all the fruits is from Napa Valley, which is not always the case in many other wineries. And for Merryvale, all the barrels are from France.
Right.
All
French
like
oak.
winemakers.
Okay, all French,
Right.
all French oak.
All French oak.
Okay.
And anyway, logistically, it just made sense, and we were limited at also Merryvale as far as how much we can produce here. And
Yeah.
it's good to have the winery close to the vineyards.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no transport of grapes. It's all there for
And
Starmont.
everything you do is estate grown. And you,
We do purchase some fruits,
okay?
especially grapes like the Malbec or the Petite Syrah, the Merlot. These are grapes that we don't grow ourselves, so Seymour is in charge of finding those good wine growers.
Yeah, which
and
is super fun.
I mean,
it's
yeah.
fun.
How do you do that?
You
Can you
made
just,
it great.
can you just go out on the vineyard and go point and go, I like that one better than
Yeah,
this
pretty
one.
much.
Reputation and
Pretty much.
connections.
We purchase about 50% of the fruit that we need, located in different areas of the valley, and by knowledge, by knowing the valley, you kind of find different characteristics. So I'm not going to give you all my tricks because if other winemakers listened, they'd be
You know
like,
the viewers are going to be all these
Yeah.
other
"Oh,
guys
he's
here
got, he's
now.
got
All
a
the
good point
winemakers
here.
follow
I'm going to
us,
start
so-
doing that." But
There you go.
no, so the short answer is like by knowing the areas you like in the valley. So you start trying that vineyard from that spot, and you find that this vineyard is going to give you these characteristics, and then you look for other places that have different characteristics. So you learn, you move, you look at the soil, you look at where the site is, so that will going to impact the climate. The climate is going to impact the style of grapes you're going to get for Cabernet. So based on that, you look at what could bring a different flavor, if you will, a different color into your wine, like what will bring a different style. So that's how you kind of put those vineyards together. Short
Interesting.
example, like
Such a fun art.
it's
Yeah.
super
Gosh.
fun. Yeah, it's super fun.
It's
It's
so
like
involved.
a painting, and you pick all your colors.
Right.
So if you've got like a mountain Cabernet that's very tannic, you like, what could we put to help it to kind of like help this wine? So you find like maybe Malbec from the valley floor could bring something that's very soft, and that can kind of coat those tannins and make a wine that ultimately is more enjoyable. So you look at what you need and how you can adjust things a little bit so that It's really part of what we do. One of the fun things I really like about Napa is actually all that patchwork is enabling you to get different colors and different things.
Okay.
So let me ask you from personal experience, is it more important as a winemaker to have a background in culinary or horticulture, or is it a mixture of the two?
I think what's more important is to have interest.
Passion.
So,
Sure.
You've got winemakers that are trained and can be my case, and then they don't really express themselves, or they really don't have passion for what they do with the product. And you have people that don't even have a degree and are really into what they do. And I've got many friends like that make outstanding wines
Hands-on.
without really.
Passion.
Sure.
Passion goes a long way. I think in
Goes a
many
long
things.
way.
It's kind of like a musician who's also the leader of the band. You have to have an artistic flair, but also you have to have a business sense to you, and sometimes that's a left-right brain thing. So you have to be a little bit of a chemist over here. Then you have to have that amazing palate over here to know what taste is going to be, universally accepted and appreciated, and people are going to give 2 thumbs up, and the folks at Wine Spectator are going to go, it's a 93 or 97 or whatever.
Whatever that number is.
Whatever that number is.
Do you
Well,
like some
What's
red
next?
wine?
yeah,
Yes,
let's
I was
move
gonna
on.
ask, what's next after this?
Well, we could actually go into a Pinot, or we can go and jump into the Merlot.
Entirely your choice. Okay.
Let's try the Pinot. So we've moved on here to the Pinot. And as I learned was it Sideways or Bottle? I think it was Sideways, not Bottle.
Sideways.
Pinot is incredibly difficult to grow. At least that's what they tell us in the movies.
Yeah, but it's the movies.
Then you need something.
It's capricious.
I don't know that they know anything.
It's a diva, though.
Yeah.
Truth is being told, it's a diva. You plant Cabernet on meadow, you'll get a decent wine.
Okay.
You'll plant Pinot on that same meadow, and it's going to be awful. So Pinot is very delicate. Like the matter in Pinot or the weight, there's very little. So like only the site will really define the quality and will help to make a good wine. If Cabernet, you plant Cabernet in a good site, you've got a great wine. If you plant it in a poor site, you've got an okay wine.
An okay wine, okay.
So there's that. There's no makeup with Pinot. You cannot
So
hide anywhere.
it's really black and white with Pinot. It's either going to be good or it's going to be crap.
You get some shades of gray, because you
You
got.
have to handle it so softly because
To handle it softly.
Well, the skin is very thin on the Pinot
Okay.
berries.
Okay.
Thinner than the cab, so.
So they were right. It is a
Very
very
fragile.
difficult wine
Yeah.
to make, to care for, to plant, all of that, right?
Andy, what are you getting off this Pinot?
You know that I suck at identifying flavors and
Right off the bat, I'm not.
let's
You ask the ladies.
let's let
Okay, well, that's
Allison
the ladies.
Okay.
tell us about this
Right
wine.
off the bat, I got this beautiful cherry tart.
Yes.
I'm sorry, what? I can't hear you.
Cherry tart.
Cherry tart.
It's just crispy.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And Jill?
Let's do it.
Let's try some. And we're also we're going to move on from the 2013 Pinot Carneros to a 2013 Cab, and the colors are starkly different. So I would imagine that the color is coming from the grape skin, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The thicker skin on the cab
So that's a
versus
good.
the Pinot.
It's a good example of what I was saying. You see the cab and you see like how dark and how dense it is.
Yeah.
Cab naturally has that power.
It's a
versus-
defense mechanism almost, yeah.
Exactly.
She comes running, waiting for the wine. No, as far as Pinots go, it's a beautiful wine. It's you asked me earlier, and after drinking it a little bit and kind of getting a chance to experience it, that bright fruit flavor definitely comes through. Not a super heavy body, and I don't think you want that in a Pinot Noir, right? You want something that's light and
Very
refreshing,
elegant.
and very drinkable. So.
Complexity.
For the ladies.
Dave or Dave.
What's your personal favorite varietal out of everything that you guys make here? Do you? I mean, and I know that's like asking a chef what his favorite food is, but
I
can
love
you
my
narrow it down to
children
one?
all the same way.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
I
great
do
answer.
have
I
a
get it.
soft heart for the Sauvignon Blanc because it's so aromatic,
Okay.
it's so refreshing.
It was
And
It was
amazing.
lovely.
You don't get to see us drink it.
Yeah.
Just
But
know that
trust
it's
us.
amazing.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Let's move on. So we don't have
Cab.
an hour and a half long video here. The 2013 Cabernet Sauvignon, and this is Napa Valley.
So,
So
Napa Valley wine. Tell us about this.
Well, I haven't had that wine in like a
Hand
few
me one of
months,
those
so
if you would, please.
I'm very curious
one.
to see how it's
You're
gonna
good.
go.
You're good. We got lots of glasses.
13 was a really warm vintage. I mean, it was warm, but evenly warm, kind of very even growing season.
We're cheersing.
Cheers.
Yeah, we have to do that.
Okay.
Oh, without a doubt.
Thank you for
Salud.
coming back.
We haven't done that yet.
Even warm growing season. Careful. You're not allowed to break glasses here.
Yes.
It's
That-
not a party until
That's
you break a glass.
that's just
Yeah.
wait. Allison will take
Yeah,
it.
yeah. She's a glass killer.
Jill's hashtag empty wine glass, and Allison has hashtag
Death to all wine
broken
glasses.
wine glass.
Broken wine
That's why
glasses.
we don't wash
So
glasses.
an even warm year.
Yeah, and that was
2013.
my first vintage here.
Oh,
And,
wow, okay.
I don't think you'll find in the press it's a very easy vintage. I thought it was a tricky vintage. It was not an easy vintage for me, not because it's my first one, but it's a very uncommon vintage. That warm and even growing season created grapes and wines that had a lot of tannins that were kind of hard to manage in the cellar, especially without too much experience. But I think the final result has been incredibly intense, incredibly concentrated. The wines are so dark, the flavors just jump out of the glass.
Dark fruit I get from this. I get kind of black cherry, sort of, kind of really dark fruit.
I'm picking out that tart, almost grapefruit, borderline grapefruit tartness to it.
It's a good thing.
Absolutely.
And it's something that's really important because
grapefruit is good.
it balances the ripe character of the wine with some freshness, with something that makes you want to drink it.
That's that tan. It's a big tannin structure.
Yeah.
I have to imagine opening up a little bit. This thing will soften out a little more, but
Thank you for
but
identifying.
beautiful.
I love the intensity. It's a wine, it's a wine that's meant for food right now.
I've had different cabs, and they might even come from the same region, and some of them are either have a rust tinge to them, or they have a purpley. When you spin the glass like that, you can almost see that bright pink purplish.
I'm getting purple, but I don't know why.
Yeah. Is that a flaw when it's rusty? Is that part of the terroir? Is it part of the skin? Alcohol content,
Aging.
perhaps? Aging?
Aging.
It's
When
all about
aged a
aging.
bit, it gets a little
Absolutely.
rusty.
Okay.
So an older wine will have a rust.
The pigments, if you
When
will,
it's young, it's very
the pigments of the wine are purple red, and that's what you see when the wine is young.
Yeah.
You might see that purple edge onto the wine, and as they age, as they oxidize, they turn to be orange. So when you see a wine that's orange on the rim, that's usually because it's older, or the pigments are telling you that they've oxidized.
We have one big glass
We have
left
a big
on the
glass
table
and
here.
a big wine to
and
follow
a big
it.
wine.
good.
So
News on the way.
good news
on the way.
When
we come back, we will visit this. What are we going to be?
We're gonna
The
be
profile.
tasting the profile.
The profile.
It's dead ahead.
Wait. Did
Top
anybody
notch.
else? Did anybody else hear Angels sing when she said profile? Okay, coming back. We're gonna have the profile. We're at Merryvale Vineyards. It's Two Dudes Reviews. We're
Okay,
back.
so yeah, we're back with it. Now, this is, I don't know the specs on it. I'd like to say it's, as far as my knowledge is concerned, the most award-winning red blend in the Napa Valley area. That's probably not correct, or it might
that
be.
true or
I
not
don't know.
Maybe
but
that's our opinion.
but I know you
We'll
guys have,
accept your opinion.
you've
take it.
consistently been with the profile in the 90, in the 90s and mid to high 90s for a lot of years. The profile is kind of the best of the best. A blend of grapes. It's or straight cab, a blend of vineyards.
Well, Simon's going to explain that.
Tell us about
So
this
yeah,
wine.
so throughout the years, it came as a blend of different vineyards, of different, very, very carefully selected vineyards that now are kind of, Napa Valley royalty when you think about vineyards such as Tucalon, Vine Hill, Thorivillos, and our estate vineyard now that was planted in '97. So as soon as we planted that vineyard, then it became the first source for profile, and now this wine is estate vineyard coming from it's estate coming from that single vineyard.
Yeah.
the Profile vineyard that we planted in 98.
Okay, it's
purchased
a
in
Profile
97.
vineyard.
Yeah, we call it the Profile.
Wow,
vineyard.
okay.
That's the
It's
name of it.
20 years old now. And
20 years old.
Wow.
Just like
And
me.
Profile celebrated 30 years.
Congratulations.
last year. Yes.
I think we should cheer to that.
Salute.
30 years. Wow.
This
30 years. And
yeah, I don't think
It's almost as
We're
old
all in.
as Simon.
almost as old as Simone.
yeah.
Oh. Let's not even talk about that.
And when you can bring over when they can bring over the bottle and have almost half of it poured and not touch the top, you know they're legit.
Absolutely.
There's some magic going on inside this
it's
bottle
a
right here.
magic bottle of wine.
Yeah.
It's voodoo.
It's voodoo.
And again, the profile has got the profiles here and here, kind of like the silhouette that we had earlier, which is yourself and your husband. Yes, a very elegant looking bottle. You you said the word elegant earlier, and when we were doing the Merlot side by side, my mother, I think, made the comment about it being very smooth. And I think elegant is a great word for it. You know, your wines, by and large, you really get a great representation. Every time I walk in the door here, I can smell that oak. And when I taste the wine, when I take it home and have it a year later and open up a bottle of this wine, I can almost smell what it smells like to be in here,
We
right?
just close our eyes and say,
I mean, how cool is
we
that?
remember
is
this
very
place,
cool.
right?
Yeah.
It's obviously we're all fans because you've been here before and we enjoy your wine.
Let's talk about this wine real
This
quick.
wine here. So
So I have one thing to say about, you know, when you talk elegance, and I think elegance is really coming from the tannins management.
Okay.
It's probably one of the biggest challenge for winemakers. Correct me if I'm wrong, Simon, but it's and he can talk to you a little more about tannins. But in order to have them present but soft, it really it takes some magic in the cellar. So
I couldn't agree with you more. My mother had asked, what are tannins?
She had no
And
idea.
and the best way I could describe it is that drying out your mouth but still silky. You still get the flavor, but it almost gives you that silkiness. And sometimes when the tannins are too high, it
goes
dries out your mouth
straight
to
in your gums.
sandpaper and goes, yeah.
in your gums.
And then there's other wines that have no tannins whatsoever, and that leads to, in my opinion, or leads to a pretty damn quick finish. And then
quick
it's
finish
watery,
and
right?
not a whole lot of body.
Is that a relatively decent explanation of the
I
tannins?
could not have said it better.
Okay. Ah, cool.
God,
Maybe
he
you should
doesn't
be
need
a
a
chef.
bigger ego.
Maybe you should get the wines. Shut up, Andy.
Hey, did you guys watch yesterday's video? Because he's wearing the same dang shirt. You know,
He has
I don't know
two.
what it is.
I love this shirt.
I don't know. He doesn't
My
have
review
two. He's
shirt.
got one of them because they're.
I do have
apparently-
two.
they're
He watched the
horrendous-
video.
They're
You should
horrendously
pay
expensive.
attention
What do
next
you
time.
mean? That's the same damn shirt.
I
you wore
got
last
two.
night.
I'll wear the black one next time.
Yeah,
No,
tell
no,
us
that's the
about
same
your
shirt
shirt.
you wear every time.
Okay,
and
so
it has to be dry cleaned. So
Oh yeah.
I'm glad you asked about.
So it's all sweaty from last night's
There's
tequila dinner.
there's
you
a
wore that
story
same
behind this
stupid
shirt. My brother's an electrician down in La Jolla, and he had when real estate was going crazy back before '08 happened and we had the recession. Dual level place right on Wind and Sea, Neptune Beach, if you're familiar with the area, and met this woman. She was opening up a new clothing boutique in La Jolla. Asked him to come and do all the electrical work. He did the electrical work. He's a T-shirts and Red Wings construction guy, so he wears jeans until there are holes in the knees, and then he makes homemade cutoffs, and then goes surfing with his homemade cutoffs. Anyhow, she saw him on the beach about 3 months after the job was done, and she said, "We'll come into the store, pick out some clothing." And he's thinking to himself, like, "I'm not ever going to wear any of this designer stuff. I'm a construction worker." 3 months after that, she sees him again on the beach, and she says, "I'm a little offended. Did I do something to upset you? You haven't been into my store to pick anything out." So he feels guilty. He goes back into the store, and she says, "Well, pick out a few things." He walks back. He picks out this shirt and the black version of this. Walks up, and she charges him full price, $500 a shirt for these things. He walks out feeling burned because he's never going to wear this.
And did he get a date?
Hell no, he didn't.
No.
You have to
Jake got a great
We
present.
got 10.
Jake got a great
I got
gift.
two very nice shirts.
He got two very ugly shirts that cost a whole lot of money. So, you know,
But two.
not one, but
Bogo.
two.
Take a look at the album cover for Rascal.
Whatever,
Flatts
yeah,
back in
okay,
2006.
yeah,
You're
whatever.
wearing this shirt.
Oh.
This is designer.
Yeah,
It's
whatever.
raw wear. It's
Yeah.
all handmade.
This is designer wear too.
Yeah.
Whatever. One last wine.
Now this is Fortified, and as long as I've known Merryvale, this is the only Fortified that I've known you guys to do. Are there any plans in the future to do grappas or to do ports or to do anything else that's Fortified?
Vodka for me would be nice.
Vodka.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Good
Merryvale
idea.
vodka. Nice. I don't know. Are the distillation laws in California? Do they allow you to
There's
create a
one vodka
distillation?
distiller. That's why I was asking about going over Spring Mountain and heading to Chardonnay.
Oh my God.
They do brandy, but you have to head all the way out to the coast to try their brandy. I'm a huge
This is the Antigua. Now, I don't see this very simple labeling and
Yeah.
Yep.
fantastic. Tell us about this this wine.
It's a very unique wine in the context of Napa Valley. You always hear about red or this is Fortified, it's a sweet wine, and the story is completely different.
Okay.
The winemaker in the 90s here about really fell in love with that kind of wine, fortified wines, and decided to start some. But in order to start some, you need older vintages as a backup. So they brought some bulk barrels, old barrels from the 60s from Vineyards, and started to buy grapes, muscat grapes. They would press the muscat, get the juice, add some brandy to it to stop fermentation, and then put it in barrel and let it age. As the wine is in barrel, you have a little what's called floor yeast, a layer of yeast that were on top.
Floor yeast.
Yeah.
Floor yeast.
They like in sherry, they oxidize the alcohol and kind of create this beautiful walnuts, celery, curry notes that you have in this wine.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Still with the exotic character of Muscat.
Yeah.
So we stopped making wine in 2004, and we still have those barrels aging. So the bulk of it is dating from the 90s up to 2004, and with some wines dating back from the 60s. So it's a very, on average in the bottle, it's probably the average year is probably around 2000. So it's more than 15 years old.
Yeah.
Wow.
Andy, what are you
Start-
tasting on that?
This, well, it's funny, Simone mentioned walnut, and it's got a real big nut. It doesn't smell.
Oh God.
Stop it already.
That's what I
Are they making
smell.
this in the back?
Creme brulee.
Creme brulee,
Exactly what I
right?
smell.
Honestly, it's no that, and I don't smell kind of that nut characteristic on the nose. I get more of a kind of a bright fruit peach almost.
When I go to
That's
Craig,
fruit
You're
peach.
getting more
That's
fruit
some
too.
muscat.
yeah.
Right.
But taking a sip of that, and I had just taken a sip when you were saying walnut, and it does bring that nut flavor straight out of that. So this is gorgeous.
Ladies, what are you thinking?
Yeah. I'm curious to know. Right fruit peach. Oh, very pecan. Very pecan.
Yeah.
Very
Hello.
candy nut.
Oh my gosh.
Roasty.
You know what we call
Toasty.
this wine? Belly button.
The belly button
wine.
Oh,
Better have an eenie.
That's right.
they got it.
Better have an Eddie, because after this you're going to have an Audi.
You're gonna have an outing.
Listen,
All right.
Laurence and
Simone.
Simone, I sincerely appreciate the invite out there. Boy, I almost feel like I should be paying you guys for the lesson. I feel like I've gone to like winery college
Wine
101.
101. That's okay. We're gonna buy.
Amazing
We're
what
probably
you
gonna buy a
learn.
bunch of wine.
Yeah, we probably
Glad you
will.
heard something.
Thank you both
Thank you
so
very
much.
much.
If you have an opportunity to come out to Merryvale, if you have an opportunity to see Merryvale at Costco, because occasionally you can find Merryvale at Costco,
Thank you.
pick up a bottle and figure out what Merryvale is all about. We're Two Dudes Reviews.
Beautiful.
Two dudes.